So now again we have another talk on NFT and IPR of digital assets by Altacit Global. Can I invite the team please?
Good evening everyone and very welcome to the NFT Fest that is being organized by Kyoto Publishing House and is co-sponsored by Altacit Global. I am Nivedita Tolety. I work as a junior associate in the field of IPR for Altacit Global Branch, Hyderabad, and I am accompanied by my co-speaker and the branch head and also the senior partner for the Hyderabad branch, Ms. Nivedita. Today we will be speaking about NFT and IPR, the right you have over your intellectual property, right? So because NFT and the whole digital world is in a very nascent stage in India, I mean these days it's just developing, so that's why the law that applies to that particular area is the law that is applicable to the normal world, that is copyright law, trademark law and everything like that. Now, to make it a little bit more simpler, IPR is divided into different categories. The first thing is copyright, trademark, patents and designs. I'll be dealing with copyright and trademark. Himavindu ma'am will be dealing with patents and designs. So talking about copyright, in general sense what copyright means is that no one else can copy your work. You have the right over your work. That is the general sense. Now, under the Copyright Act, there are two particular requirements that you need to fulfill to have copyright protection. The first is that the work needs to be original. Yeah, there is one loophole when it comes to the term original. I will get to that in the next slide. The second one is that the work needs to be fixated in some tangible form. The work needs to be fixed in some tangible form. That is, let's say there are a lot of authors here, so I'm going to take an example of something like that. Let's say I have an idea of a book, yeah, and I did not put it in a tangible format. I did not write it down anywhere. I have this idea, this plot for the book, and I want to write a book on it in future. And I go ahead and discuss with someone else saying, this is my idea and I want to publish a book on this particular idea, on this particular plot. Now what that person does is that they go ahead and actually write the book. It's my idea, but that person is the one who wrote the book. Now, because they put it in a tangible form, and yeah, they copy from you, but then again, they are the one who will have the copyright over it. Because in the High Court, let's say, if you file a case against that person because they stole your idea, they will have an upper hand because they were able to prove that they put it in a tangible form. They will claim that this is actually our idea and it's not theirs. You will be left with no proof to show that you are the one who came up with the idea to begin with. So that's why it's important for you to have, if you have an idea for a book, please write it down, or have somewhere written down, at least like in a rough way, write it down so that you have the proof that it is actually your work. Now, what can be protected under copyright? Now that is also broken down in the Act. Now, they are the works that can be protected under the Copyright Act. Now, as I said before, the term original has a couple of loopholes, and these are the loopholes. The first one is derivative work, and the second is transformative work. Now, how many of you are fans of Harry Potter here? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. So, what derivative work? I mean, if you are a fan of Harry Potter, you must have come across fan fiction of Harry Potter. People who change the characters or give new plot to the story on Reddit or on the internet. They imagine their own story towards the character and they change a couple of things about the character and they write a whole new plot for the character. That's called as fan fiction. They improvise the original work and they make it into something else. Now, as an example I've given as fan fiction. Fan fiction basically is a derivative work because the derivative work exists only because the original work exists. If there is no Harry Potter to begin with, there is no fan fiction at all, right? So that is a derivative work. So when you are basing your work on something that already exists, that is a derivative work, and the person who actually created the work, the original creator of the work, is the one who holds the copyright for it. Now, if you want to do a derivative work, you have to take permission from the actual owner of the copyright. And if you don't, it is a copyright infringement and you will be sued for the same. So the second loophole that I was talking about is called as a transformative work. Transformative work can also be claimed as original because even though you are inspired by an already existing work, you have made enough changes in the second work that it's a standalone work. Okay, I'll give you an example. How many of you have seen the movie Kantara? Anyone? It's just such a good movie, huh? Yeah. So if you follow the news, you must have known that Kantara is currently facing a copyright infringement case. Yeah, over a song that's called as Varaharupam. To people who don't know, there is this Malayalam band called as Kalkudam Bridge. I'm sorry if I butchered the pronunciation. I don't exactly know. They have this song called as Navarasam. And they are the one who actually released the song before the Kantara got released, and it had Varaharupam. Now this particular band claimed in the Kerala court saying that Varaharupam, that is in Kantara movie, was actually inspired by their song Navarasam. Now this is just my personal opinion that I'm saying as a copyright lawyer who practices copyright pretty much every day. The Kantara song, that is Varaharupam, even though maybe there are similarities in Navarasam and Varaharupam, but it's not the same. There are significant changes in both of them, and you can easily differentiate them both. Even though they got inspired, maybe, again I'm not saying they are, even though they might be inspired, but they have made enough changes for it to be a standalone work. So in this particular incident, because it is a transformative work, Kantara, the production house of Kantara, will have the copyright over it. Even though they were inspired from already existing work, they are the one who will still hold the copyright. So this is about derivative and copyright work. Now let's connect copyright and NFTs. Now actually, my opening statement was how many of you know what an NFT is, but then again, Mr. Gopal has done such a wonderful job explaining us what an NFT is, so I'm not going to go there. Just going to open up saying that now we all know what an NFT is, right? So how do you correlate copyright and NFT? Now as I said, some of you can opt for the option where you can upload your books or your artwork or your painting or whatever it is and convert into an NFT and upload it. Yeah. Now, there is one main difference between a real world copyright and digital world copyright. In the real world, majority of the time, the person who creates the work, or rather the author who's the author of the book, let's say, is the copyright owner. But in the digital world, it's the person who mints that particular NFT is the one who is the copyright owner. Now, in the real world, again, as I said before, unless and until it is a movie, then it's the production house who usually holds the copyright. It's not the people who work in it. That is pretty much one of the exceptions that there is, where the creator is not the copyright owner. But when it comes to the digital world, it's the person who mints it. Now, in NFT, the thing is that when someone mints that particular copyright, the person who's minting it actually should have the ownership of that, they should have the capacity to actually mint the copyright. If not, the person who's minting the copyright is committing a copyright infringement. And that will pretty much followed by a very big lawsuit. Now, as Mr. Gopal was saying, there are smart contracts when you are transferring your NFTs, when you're buying NFTs. Yeah. So, when people are usually buying NFTs, they don't usually go through the terms and conditions. Whenever you're buying an NFT, in the terms and conditions, it's usually written that it is mainly specified. In some instances, it's specified that it is intended for only personal use. You cannot commercialize it. You can use it in a personal sense. You can display it, or you can resell it. You have the right to resell it. But then again, let's take an example. Let's say I buy an NFT from Mr. Gopal. Yeah, there is this beautiful sunflower. I want to buy it, and let's say I have my own business where I manufacture tote bags. I want to print this particular sunflower, whatever is in the NFT, and I want to print it in the tote bags and I want to sell it. If I do that, now let's say I bought it from him, thinking that let's go, I have the NFT, I am the owner, so I can use it however I want to. I take it from him and I start printing the NFT on tote bags or whatever it is, and I start selling it. That means I've commercialized the NFT. Now when I commercialize the NFT, without knowing, I'm actually committing copyright infringement, because in the terms and conditions in the smart contract in the smart contract it is specifically written that it is intended only for personal use or reselling that particular NFT. I cannot commercialize it. I do not have the right to commercialize it, or I do not have the right to make money out of that NFT except for reselling it. So again, if any of you are interested in buying NFT, sure, there will be a smart contract in place, but again, please make sure that you have a separate agreement from the original owner of the NFT. And again, if you want to use it in a commercial sense, that is, please make sure that you have a separate agreement between the owner and you, saying that you are the official owner of the copyright when it comes to transferring of NFTs. Now, as again he said, there are several businesses that are entering into the whole world of digital NFTs and things like that. So one of the big companies that is very well known is the Bored Ape Yacht Club. If you are into NFTs and all, I'm pretty sure you must have heard about this. Now let's say I won't say I'm Bored Ape Yacht Club, but like I'm a small business. Yeah, I entered into the whole world of NFT. And when I actually entered, I was very small. I had no customer base, I had no one that I could sell to, nobody was buying from me. But let's say in a span of a couple of years, but I still keep on, making art or whatever it is, and I keep uploading, and the business is still running, but there are no customers there. Let's say by the end of that year, I become a hit, and people actually start buying from me. And now that I'm very well known and very established NFT company, other people, just like in the real world, will copy my logo or the name of the company, and they will start selling fakes or dupes of my work. Now they are not getting actual original work. I'm the one who has the original work. But they'll be easily confused and they will go and buy it from the other person. Now to prevent this, as I said before, again, the Indian laws only applicable even in the digital world. The trademark law itself is applied in the digital world as well. Now that person, the other business, is actually infringing my trademark. Now let's say I did not have a trademark registration. I can't do anything about it. Even if I go and try to file a trademark, I will not get the trademark because it already exists. Someone else is already doing business on that name. I will not have the trademark on me. This is exactly what had happened for this company, Bored Ape Yacht Club. They were very small and they became a huge hit within I think a span of a couple of months or so, and they started very huge sales and everything. But by the time they realized how big they were and they wanted to have the trademark, and this is a US-based company, so they had to file the trademark in the USPTO, that is the US Patent and Trademark Office. When they approached it, other people with, again, bad intention had already registered their trademark over their name with all kinds of combination. So now, even though they want to get the trademark, they can't because it is already registered with someone else, even though they are the ones who are the original owners of that particular company. So if you are a small business or an author or who goes on other name, or you have a unique name or something that you do trade with, please make sure you register your trademark before you enter into the world of NFT, because it is highly unpredictable and you never know when you will gain that boom in that business, and there is a very good chance people can manipulate you. So this is about copyright and trademark. And patents and design will be discussed by my co-speaker, Ms. Himabindu. Thank you so much for having us, and I would like to thank the Guru Publishing House for giving us this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Good evening. We're going to discuss about the patents to NFTs as patents. Next slide. Before that, what exactly is a patent? Patent is an exclusive right granted by the government that excludes others from making, using, or selling the patent for a little bit of time, that is 20 years. Nowadays, patent holders are tokenizing the patents as NFTs and launched ownership and licensing the patents. Now, by increasing the transparency while making the related transactions simpler and more cost-effective. I'm getting the also helps in positioning patents to be more easily sold, traded, commercialized, otherwise monetized, and bring liquidity to the patent owners. Next, coming up to the blockchain platform. Patents in the field of NFT, where IBM has recently taken steps to trade the patents as NFTs. They have come up with a new idea called blockchain platform and has been part allows the members of the patent community to engage, transact, buy, license, finance, sell, and commercialize the patents. This tech giant, IBM, has also filed 80 plus patents in this field. In line with IBM, Meta Inc., the former Facebook, have also filed 5 US patents related to payment service sector supporting cryptocurrency exchange and the payments with the name of Meta Pay. And coming up with the next giant, recently Nike has been the first shoe company to hold a patent for the blockchain-based sneakers called Crypto Kicks. Apart from this blockchain sneakers, they have also filed 4 patents related to the cryptographically secure digital asset, where the owner of this digital asset can also use the shoe as the skin of the video game character that may be developed or controlled by the user. Another example, recently, Czech Fonts and a technology consulting firm called True Written Systems have listed their granted US patent onto the NFT marketplace, and they were originally demanding around $9 million, whose current value is approximately $3.7 million. Coming up to the patents as NFTs. Now, where can these NFTs apply to? Either they can be applied to patents, paintings, songs, games, films, sports, fashion, virtual real estate, or any other digital thing. Therefore, one may own the patent as an NFT, which will give the NFT owner complete ownership of the patent once the patent rights have been transferred. One important point here to be noted is one can be the owner of the patent even after the patent expiry. How? For example, patent owners of television, bulb, car, telephone, and World Wide Web, these patents have been expired. Even though they have been expired, one cannot enjoy the monopoly of these patents, but still are valuable and can be collected in the form of NFT. If you buy a patent that is granted and still active, which has not been expired, you will also get a right to stop others from using it. Coming up, the next one. According to the Forbes report, out of 2.1 billion active US patents, barely 5% have been reached the market. That means even in India, only 5% of the patents have been reaching to the market. That means roughly 90% of the patents fail to commercialize or find an angel investors or licensee. This tells us that there is a huge gap in patent filing and commercializing. This gap can be filled with NFTs. Thereby, NFTs can change IP industry based on the listing of the patents that has to be sold as an NFTs. Now, IPV have created a global patent marketplace, a patent ecosystem to engage, to transact, to buy, license, finance, sell, research and commercialize the patents. Coming up with the next one.
Sorry, I had some problems, so I just played the video audio. Thank you.